Hello. Let me just double check this is up and running. It looks like it on my end. Looks all good. Okay. Um the dashboard's screaming at me. Like the Twitch dashboard is screaming at me. I don't know why. Let me just refresh that. Yeah, it's fine now. I don't know. Anyway. So yeah, we're continuing this level midway through, which is not ideal, but we ran out of time yesterday. I do prefer leaving it off in between levels and having sort of a fresh mind going into each level, but not a big deal, I don't think. They haven't been in there yet. Seven, 7, 3, 2. Okay. State of Gilver Exporting Company. Our shipment to the exported overseas to Governor Horridge is ready. It is waiting over in Gilver's area and will be shipped out tomorrow afternoon. Having to replace last month's shipment that was lost at sea is putting the company in serious financial trouble. Gilver took out a loan from the First City Bank and Trust to cover the extra expenses. If we don't increase profits next month, then we won't have enough money to stay in business. Fortunately, we have just received an unexpected order this morning, and this will bring in some extra money that we can use to pay back the loan. I just had a new batch of shipping labels printed out and I'll bring them over to Gilver in the morning. Okay. Well, that's important to our mission, because we need to find a shipping label and redirect Gilver's shipment by placing a new label on the big crate outside of his office, so I guess that is linked to that. E.B. Bramrich. So where next? 0266, I guess. Ooh, the same gambling table from Thief Gold with the same horrible card textures. It's weird how you pick those up and they're not labeled, the playing cards. I assume I can't open this. There was another safe somewhere that I made a note of. In here, I think. Oh, nice. I love it when you do some funky jumping stuff like that and it actually pays off. Nice. That actually makes me think that there might be a hidden key in that other place. With the safe that I found. We'll go and check that place out again. I'm curious. I think this area is quiet enough. I think we've dealt with anyone who's hanging around. See, this is near the area with the weird jumping that I couldn't make sense of. I guess I can scratch that over note that I made because I dealt with that safe. Just double checking it's not in here. I think there was gold in here, but... And this was the place where you go in there. You get locked in. And you press that to I don't know what that does actually. My jumping and climbing not so good right now. I mean, it would be a bit ridiculous if the key was kept up here, wouldn't it? But it is faith, and stranger things have happened. Yeah, I don't know. Guess that continues to be a mystery. Zero 457. I miss being able to bunny hop around ultra fast. I mean, it's probably a good thing that they fixed it, but I can't help but miss it. This is close to where we started the level, actually.
This place looks like an inventor's shop. There's probably a valuable gadget or two around here.
A scouting orb. Is that it for in here, I wonder? I mean, I got a decent amount of stuff, but I always think that there's more that I'm leaving behind than there usually is, to be fair. So I guess we should probably go to 7933. Did I read this? Yeah, I did. And there's the whole, like, building bee that I haven't really explored yet. Been in it a little bit. So did I just slap this on? Yep. Journal entry 4279. I don't know what is happening to my business. Every attempt to gain extra profit only leads me to more loss. On paper, every business plan that I devise with Brownrich seems flawless, but in practice, they always fall through. Last month's overseas export to Governor Horridge was supposed to make us rich, but the ship never made it to its destination. I suspect piracy. I had to take out a loan just to cover last month's losses. Basis. Why did I say that for? I was hoping to have this reshipment to the governor out the door 2 days ago, but my workers seem to have a hard time toting that barge and lifting that bale when I really need them. I would fire them all in a second, but I wouldn't be able to find anyone to work for what little I can afford to pay. I just finalised the governor's shipment, and I had my secretary run over to Bramridge's office to grab the shipping label so it can be attached to the outgoing crate. I'm going over to the Crippleburg for a drink, then it's back here for more paperwork. So that's actually a location that they reference in this game. Interesting, because I know the Crippleburg is also a location in the reboot. So that's interesting. Nice. So I can just go, but I do want to explore Building B a bit more. I do have a key for it, but I don't think it works on these doors. I don't think any of these doors can really be opened regularly. I think you need a switch or whatever. See, this all looks quite dark to me, but apparently it is not. Hello, Ephirius. How's it going?
One day, drop your weapon. Take that.
That's a fail. Now I know that guy's there. But yeah, this is like proper shadow. Apparently these shadows up ahead are fake. Maybe my brightness is a bit high. But then again, you guys wouldn't be able to see if it was any lower. Oh, awesome. Yeah, normally I wouldn't stream this late, but yeah, I thought might as well. I've got the opportunity, so I thought might as well. And I really appreciate that you hang out in the background. I honestly never know, because I don't keep track on who watches, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's really awesome. And I really appreciate it. Nice anchors. So yeah, we recently played through Thief Gold, and afterwards I was just like, oh, I just want to play the second one right away. So we did. We jumped into it. And I have played a little bit of this before back in the day, but the computer, if I played it on, ran the game very, very poorly. But that, not only that, but there were like weird graphical glitches. Actually, see that green rock there? You would see that like through the environment. It was really strange. The game was pretty much unplayable, but yet I somehow managed to get to the 5th level. Not bad for an idiot kid. But yeah, that's all I really know of Thief 2. And that was, you know, like over 20 years ago at this point. I played the first one more, but even then I didn't, I never finished it or anything back then. So the playthrough that I did on stream was my first actual proper finished playthrough. Oh, the boat. I kind of remember the boat, actually. Kind of remember. Are there spiders in the boat, or am I thinking of something else?
Huh? What was that?
Oh, you just made a big mistake.
Ah.
Dad, you've had it.
It's fine.
Wait! Murder!
There we go. Flawless. Yeah. So far, I've definitely been getting away with stupid plays more than the first one. But this is like the start still. This is only the second level. So which one do you prefer, Apherius? The first one or the second one? Oh yeah, I was in here earlier briefly, hence there's a body in the corner. But I didn't really explore this building. Interesting, yeah. I think everyone that I've asked on Twitch anyway have said the second one. Well, everyone seems to be kind of divided though in a way. Like, even if they do have a favorite, they're always like, oh well. Even then though, it's kind of hard, you know? So yeah, obviously I don't have an answer yet. I'll know once I finish this one. Foreman's office. Iron ore, bronze, copper, grain. Oh. Smashable glass, that's new. Beef 1 doesn't have that. Davidson, smuggling spice has become difficult since Rapone let the mechanists use this building. Hide the spice in the usual location and take your payment. That's from Oysterland. My understanding is that there was going to be a Thief 2 gold, but obviously Looking Glass Studios died pretty much as the as Thief 2 came out. Project planning. Not much going on here. I think it's remarkable that this game came out as good as it did though, considering the circumstances. I like the greater variety of loot types in this one. Well, it just seems like there's more anyway. More individual items. Yes, I was saying that in the last part. The fact that it keeps track of where you've been is really, really nice. Really nice. Very, very handy. someone around out there. Withrin found me at the most sharpy way of ridding thyself a blade and of a blade in the side. Watch Officer Morgan. It's too much work for him. Does he do his own scout of breakers and bladesmen, so a sniffer drops him a name or two, gets a coin for the mark of it? Turn me a profit and grieve me the competition, why not? From Black Rat. Yeah, that's the one that I've never played, ever. I've never touched it. But yeah, we'll definitely get to it. Probably not right away after this one, but maybe in a few months. But that came out in that came out at a time when I didn't have a good PC and I didn't have an Xbox, so I kind of missed it when it was new, and then just later on in life I bought it really cheap but just never got around to it. I think I missed that from before. What's this lovely thing doing? Oh, bet you, is there a hole here? Yes, there is. I'm not a dummy. Well, unfortunately, I think this is a little too big for me to carry. Can I climb up there? Yes. Yeah, I know the level you're talking about because everyone talks about that level. I haven't seen it myself, but I just know everyone talks about it. I was a bit disappointed. I thought I was going to find more in here. Yeah, I think we'll see these things in better detail in future missions. Just gonna throw that out there. They're setting the stage here with this one, I think, this level. Oh, hi there. Hello, Illuminati. How's it going? I was here before. I've been here. As you can see. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Furious. I think it's like the one thing about that game. It's like literally the only thing I know about it. It's like that level, and like, I don't know, I guess the rest of it's dog shit because no one talks about the rest of it. I'm glad to hear it, Illuminati, by the way. I like that we see the training dummies again from the training level in the first game. Gotta love that. Yeah, I'm in the wrong. I'm just the wrong place entirely. We'll jump off here. And then I want to explore that ship.
That looks like Captain Davidson's cargo ship. He's a shady guy with smuggling and piracy.
My instinct is to swim into the water and see if there's an alternate way around. There are spiders on the boat. See, I remember that. That is an over 20-year memory. That's amazing. It's one of those things I completely forgot about it until I saw the boat, and I was like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that boat. And it's like, yep, there's spiders in the boat. I think when I played it though, my frame rate was probably so bad I probably avoided the whole thing. Oh. Yeah, close enough. My friend borrowed it off a friend. And it was either 2000, 2001, probably 2000 though. But I didn't play much of it. It's weird, even though the graphics in this game are pretty much the same as the first one. Yeah, our old computer just did not like it for whatever reason. Yep. Found a secret? That wasn't too secret. I like that though. Well, I like the simplicity of it rather than, you know, the newer Thief game that came out in 2014. Every time you knock someone out, it goes through like a pre-canned animation every time. If it takes like 5 minutes, or not 5 minutes, 5 seconds. Imagine if it took 5 minutes, good lord. But yeah. I don't know, there's just something very satisfying about the old bop on the head, and that's it. And you quickly move on. Even though it's a stealth game, it has like a kind of a fast-paced kind of feel to it. What key am I working with here? Captain's log. Make port we did at Rampone's dockside shipping. No safe harbour. This, but the reward is surely worth the risk. We need to unload the spice right quick and stash it among the crates inside that building B. Our cut of the bounty should be in the safe inside Osterland's office as usual. I think that's the safe that I got into, maybe? Or maybe that's the other one, I can't remember. I'll stash the spice while the crew unloads the Rampone's cargo. I'm eager to cast off and set sail for our rendezvous point, where we can join with Captain Carr's sloop. From there it is on to the hunting grounds. That fool Gilver continues to send out unarmed merchantmen, just ripe for the plundering. Yeah, definitely. I quite like that in GTA 4, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's definitely something that's become more obvious as video games have gotten better with graphics and stuff. Animations have obviously gotten better, but as a result, they've kind of become more slower and, you know, protracted. And sometimes that can cut into the game. Okay. Let's throw some boxes around. I feel like there's probably more in here, but I'm missing. Maybe this is important for if you're playing it on expert or something. But yeah. And that's just where I was. Okay. And I think we're done. I think I've seen most of everything, but at least, you know, everything that's obvious. I've been in all the buildings and all the rooms, and I haven't got everything, but did okay. I think not too bad. Getting there. I did all the things. Secrets found 6 out of 14. That's a lot. Pockets picked 13 out of 13. That's pretty good. Bodies discovered by enemies 2. That's not so good. Others killed? Who did I kill? Apart from the spiders and stuff. I think everyone else got blackjack, no? Apparently not.
Last night, an unusual opportunity knocked on my door. Naturally, I was a little suspicious, but my visitor said the job was too sensitive to go through the usual channels. He claimed that an old contact of mine told him where to find me. I was about to ask him who our mutual friend was when he managed to distract me. The job is to break into Shoalsgate Station, headquarters of the City Watch, and quietly frame a certain Lieutenant Hagen for robbing the evidence vault. Hagen is Sheriff Truart's number 2 man, and has no doubt made life difficult for someone he shouldn't have. My unusually resourceful employer has given me all the information I need to pull this off, including a very detailed map of the building. All I have to do is choose a way in, plan my route, and get back out, without alerting the bulls. I realize that breaking into Shoals Gate is like looking down a barrack's mouth with a lit match. But it would pay me enough to lay low for a while, and it doesn't hurt to be giving the police some dirty laundry to deal with either. Besides, with my luck, if I don't take this job, I could end up in there anyway.
The mechanists have installed an alarm mechanism in Shoals Gate Station that can be triggered by either mechanical eyes or the guards. Don't let them set off the alarm. Brain won't stake if the City Watch suspects you were involved. Don't knock out or kill more than 2 guards. Good lord. Go to Lieutenant Hagen's office and grab a personal item of his to be used for framing him. Drop the personal item in the vault on the 3rd floor. Steal the strong box from the vault and leave it in Lieutenant Hagen's office. Interesting. Okay. Well, this sounds like it might be difficult. Tip 1. We'll get tip 1. I haven't really been using any items so far. I haven't really needed them. I think I used a flash bomb in the previous one, but yeah. I don't really remember this level, I don't think. I'll let you know if I remember any bits of it when I see them, but yeah. I should probably look at the map, huh? The maps are a lot more detailed compared to the first game. The first game is quite vague, and they don't really draw out a lot of the places that accurately.
This looks like the way in.
Yeah, it's a good candidate anyway. I'll keep that in mind. See what this building's all about. Oh, I see. Oh, I should read my tip that I bought. Cost me good money, that tip. A control panel in the front desk can not only open the main gates, but also disable the alarm system, or mechanism. Shoals Gate is loaded with hidden entrances and secret levers. Don't hesitate to go through people's garbage. You never know what you might find.
Ah, my favorite year.
Looking to see if they had anything up on the shelf there. That's a fake door. Here's some garbage. It seems like I should go back. Ooh. I mean, this level seems interesting in that they want you to pretty much ghost the level and not, you know, touch people at all. Rats? Wow, they're new. Okay, let's go this way. How much loot do I need? Oh, it doesn't say that. That is not an objective here. Okay. Do I have a fire arrow? No, I don't. That looks like you need to light that in order to go through there. Or no. It's just a switch. Conference rooms. Yeah, we're getting into the thick of it now. Maybe I should go back the other way briefly just to see what it's like. That's it. a dead end. Or not. Okay. Laboratory and the morgue. I'll
They
take.
won't need that anymore.
Yeah, I'll take that. Coroner's report: identification unknown. Location: body discovered in sewage tunnel. Cause of death: pagan worship. Oh, what's down here? I have ordered that murderer Schmidt be left in solitary wrath, that no one venture near him. I want him to suffer as much as his victims did. From Lieutenant Hagen. Are those haunts?
You guys can't treat me like this. I'm a veteran.
Yeah, I bet that's where you learn to pickpocket so well.
When I got back, my family was gone. I had no money to live.
Sure. Tell it to the sheriff. He's got a real soft spot for war heroes.
Yeah, return to the cathedral. I don't know if you caught me saying it before, but like generally speaking, I'm not really scared of video games, but like when playing Thief back in the day, the haunts were probably one of the few video game enemies that scared me. And even to this day, there's something about them. Like, the sound of the chains. Something about it, it's creepy to me. Like this is horrifying. Tell me that's not horrifying. I like that they're using the same like moans and stuff from the prison in the first one. Right.
I like the dark. Dark but dark business. That business in the city.
Like, I don't want to know what happens if that haunt sees me.
There's no law in the city anymore. No justice. Just the strong abusing the weak. Shame on us. We let our fair city down. She's ruined and we're doomed.
I never played any of the Fallout DLC ever. But yeah, I heard the New Vegas stuff was pretty good.
And so they say to me, let us out, let us out. We're all going to die in here.
Yeah.
And I
He's
say to them,
gone.
Tis, tis, tis. What a pity. Don't they know I'm doing them a favor? I'm releasing them from the pain of living. And again, he says to me, be silent, and begins to weep. And so I ease his suffering and say, poor pathetic man, you need not wallow, for the next sound you hear will be the thump of your severed cranium hitting the floor. And he screams, ah! And then, blessed silence. Why? He tells me, why? And I say, did the builder not pave the way of that order with the blood of heathens? Shouldst I not do as the builder would? And I thank the builder for his wisdom, for he hath shown me the divine power of death. And so he says to me, be silent, you cruel, sadistic man. And I say, the truth doesn't always set you free, does it? No, sometimes the truth can enslave you with suffering and shame when it isn't what you want to hear.
This goes on for a while, huh?
And so they say to me, let us out, let us out. We're all going to die in here. And I say to them, tis, tis, tis. What a pity. Don't they know I'm doing them a favor? I'm releasing them from the pain of living. You there! I have heard them talk about you, yes?
Yes?
Say to me, there is someone who spills blood without effort, without action. And I say, yes, I understand. But you do not. Your relationship with the shadows will never know betrayal.
Okay. I'll leave you to it then.
Life stinks and then you die. Then life goes on without you. I'll never get out of this stinking hole. But why would I want to? Life's no good anymore for an old codger.
Well, this place seems like a barrel of laughs, doesn't it? Yeah, well, it sucks to be you guys. So I can only knock out 2 guards. This is something I never used in the first game, ever.
Who was that? Let's see ya. I'll turn you up soon enough.
I'm surprised they got away with that. Secure records. Nice books. Definitely not a texture. Nope, those lockpicks aren't good enough.
A hidden entrance.
Ah. This is pretty good, I think. I mean, it looks pretty good anyway. A scroll. Kick me? Oh, very good. Lucy Walker, the watch officers have received a number of complaints about your harassment of alchemist Grimad. Out of consideration for your masters, we have not been placed under arrest yet. Please keep in mind that any further trouble may result in arrest and confiscation of property for a safe city watch officer Morgan. I like that you can pick up this scroll if it says kick me on it and carry it around with you. Burgerly, E Park Boulevard, Burgerly, Burgerly, I can't say that word. Of carriage, horse taken, 800 Hawkins Drive, Burgerly of Manor, Goldcrest taken 2,300. Criminal Mischief, Gorn Avenue, Criminal Mischief, 300 damage, Crippled Barrack Pub, Criminal Mischief, Patron thrown through window, 500, Northcrest Road, Criminal Mischief to Collector Tower, 250, Millens Drive, Criminal Mischief to Street Lamp, 25 damage. Burglary.
Show yourself. False alarm, I guess.
Yes. Paganism, Greaves Street, Paganism, Courtyard Trail, Balmont Drive, Pagan Sympathy, Pearson Manor, Harboring a Pagan, Dano Block, Kimmel Avenue, Paganism, Assault Fort Street, Assault Class A, Fort Street, Assault Crossbow Usage, Arlene Avenue, Assault Class A, N Bisbee Drive, Assault Class C, Glenover Drive, Aggravated Assault, Dagger Display, and Gapoda Oak, Assault Class C. Maybe this place isn't as good as I thought. Oh. Why could I miss that? I can't cut this? Makes a very loud noise though. I don't know why it makes the tile noise when you're up here. I don't know, should I stay down there? We'll give it a go. Because there are going to be guards the other way as well, so.
Sir, was that you?
At least it's dark here.
I need to get some sleep.
Oh, this is where I was earlier. With that guy.
Can't we get some decent torches around here? Yep.
I'm too tense.
Armory. Seems like it would be useful. Can't get into it though. No luck with any of these. But yeah, I feel like this one, at least so far, seems to be a little bit more generous on this actual stealth side of things. Like, I was in plain sight of that guard in a well-lit corridor, and it's not a disaster yet. And the thing is, I can knock out two. But I don't know which two I should knock out.
Guess I could use some target practice.
Reminds me of the training from the original game as well. Is there anything in here? Maybe this is just a hiding room. So it'd be so tempting to take this guy out, but he's really not an issue. Take some food. And a carrot if it's been lying on the floor. It's always a good idea, right? Is this a good idea? Possibly. I'm going to table that for now.
Arrest Topper!
Okay. Oops. Got unlucky with that. He just so happened to be there. Happens sometimes. Ooh. Back outside. Yeah, so the lift would be about here. This is where I was earlier. So, not much point in doing that. I just kind of jumped in without really considering the consequences there. Okay, this is where I was earlier. Ah, okay, and this leads to the main sort of entrance.
What was that?
Should I investigate that? I mean, probably is the answer to that, I think. Compared to the first one, this one is big into its like labels and like names for things. Which is probably a good thing.
I should be able to find something in here.
I would hope so, anyway. No loot though, but disappointing. Even though I don't need loot for this mission, I can't help but want it anyway. It's my favorite thing to pick up.
Did you hear that?
It is, yeah. The sound effect as well is just perfect for it. Little connecting room. I've accidentally split up these two guards, which might not be a good thing. It was probably better if they stuck close together.
You just
Hello, Fred Gant. How's things? Oh, the doors have disappeared again. So that bug is back. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I was hoping that was gonna give me something special for doing that. Nope. No such luck. Rope arrow.
Thought I saw something.
No.
Don't get paid for jumping at nothing.
Oh, that looks like it's a secret. I just want to open it then. I'm always looking to see if there's like a switch high up after that revelation from the previous part when I realized that you could shoot switches in this one. But I don't know. If you hit the 4 dummies, then that should open up, right? Makes perfect sense to me. Maybe if I light this up. No, I don't have a fire arrow. So that's not an option. So this level's fun because I'm not allowed to knock out any more than 2 people. And I haven't knocked out anyone yet, but that's the thing. When you give me a strict challenge like that, I feel inclined not to, you know, knock out anyone. Because I don't know who to knock out.
Thought I heard something.
Who's there?
I know.
About time we cleaned up those cesspools of filthy tappers. Every one of them you could buy and they're selling.
It's next level now, what can I say?
Behind bars, all of them. That's the best thing for them.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
What? I hear you back there.
The Watcher is ready and operational. Now 'twill activate the alarm whenever an intruder doth approach.
How does it know the difference between us and an intruder?
To find the answer to that question, thou must attend the Mechanist Seminary and join our order. The wisdom of Kareth is not for the eyes of the common man.
What about maintenance for all these contraptions?
Thy sheriff did insist that all information for thy security systems be left in the care of Lieutenant Hagen. Instructions are locked in thy secure records area.
What secure area?
The sheriff requested us to construct a records hall that only he and his lieutenants may view. 'Tis no doubt to keep them from the eyes of incompetents such as thee.
Well, I know where that room is. I just need to figure out how to get into it.
Let us give thanks to the builder for he hath formed and behold my fingers interlock with cogs like cogs on a gear. I am part of his
Where does this lead to? A nice big door. Indeed they do. Don't know what that does. Main gate. An alarm label. Oh, cool. Alarm. So that means they theoretically can't turn on the alarm, which is another one of our objectives. The alarm cannot go on at all, otherwise game over. It's funny, I mean the first one didn't have any strict rules on itself like that, you know, no forced like requirements. But I guess for the second one they felt the need to up the ante. We listen to the fans. They don't want any dinosaur crap anymore. We're just gonna give them hardcore stealth. Attention all watch officers. In a short time, we have nearly cleared the city of the criminal element that has plagued her for so long. I thank each and every one of you for the effort and initiative that you have displayed. Now we must direct this same form of hard justice towards another disease of the city, the pagans. We cannot allow these subversives poison the minds of our fair citizens. I'm pretty sure if you can probably look up a playthrough of the first game with
Okay, let's take it from the top.
no kills,
Well, my servant Genevieve is missing. Now, she had no reason to run away.
no
I
combat,
treated her like my own daughter.
no knockouts.
Who will take care of me now?
Ma'am, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you're drifting off the subject again. Just stick to the facts, please.
Are you going to help me or not? I'll have you know, I am a personal friend of Father Karras. He has a great deal of influence, you know. Where do you think all your fancy new devices came from? I doubt he would be pleased to find out you are neglecting to help one of his friends.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of your problem as quickly as I can. The sooner we're done here, the sooner we can start looking for your servant. Why don't you calm down and collect yourself while I go over what we have so far?
I'm sorry, officer. Thank you.
It's not as good as Max Payne 2, is it, in that regard? I prefer that line of questioning. Those are some nice glasses. Massive as well, by the looks of it. Maintenance. Do I want to go into maintenance? I mean, I guess. Does this count as one of the guards? Oh, I've been here already. Yeah, I don't need to go down there. It's fine. So I should go to the next floor. The second floor.
How come we gotta pull guard duty? Couldn't the mechanist just put more of those mechanical eyes around the place?
Because we can't be shut off as easily, you taffer.
Oh! At least it's better than sitting watch for the downwinders.
Damn right. No smell of sewage, no mildew, fewer rats.
You ever wonder why Truart hired us?
Not really. Probably figured we'd spend less time breaking the law since we'd be enforcing it. Gold is gold. Don't matter if it's coming from Reuben or Sheriff Truart.
There are rats in this game, by the way. Actual rats. So it does have that going for it.
Did you see something over there? Who's there? Hello? Probably just would be something enough to break in here.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool in that regard.
Stand forth and be recognized. Someone there?
What was that? Well, seems clear.
So... See, this guy's annoying. I got past him before by using a noisemaker arrow. But I might see if I can do it another way, or get up there another way. Maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe it's a bad idea. Yeah, because the records hall is cut off from the rest of the second floor, so that's actually not really where I want to go. I guess we'll scratch that. I just wanted to go into this room because I wanted to fill in blue. Is that a good reason to go into a room? Not really. Not really when you know it's got nothing in it. Bat meringue. I haven't seen any bat meringue yet. Perfect stealth.
Is that you?
Yes, it actually is. Oh, I can imagine, Fred. That's the sort of thing that would take the average person at least 9 times. 9 tries, I should say. Oh yes, there's this lift I discovered. Let's use it. Hours of fun. Brilliant. Well, hopefully they enjoy it and are not easily startled by sudden loud sounds.
You hear that? False alarm, I guess.
Oh, a key. Can I take your key? Thank you. Oh. Maybe just see.
You saw that, right? Freeze!
Yeah. Okay, not worth knocking that guy out. But yeah, the alarm has been disabled because they tried to activate it there and it didn't go off, so we've got that going for us. Like, is it worth maybe taking this guy out? I just want to take someone out. I miss bonking people so bad.
I hear something.
I'm actually really unhappy that I bonked that guy. Hello Infernal Monsoon, thank you very much for the massive raid. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a marvelous stream streaming El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron. I hope you're doing well. Hello Sakas, yes, more faith. When we finished the first one I was just like, I can't leave it there. I'm just dying to play the second one now.
Come out where I can see you.
Cool, glad to hear it. Ooh. That's a tight one, isn't it?
In the name of Sheriff...
Okay. That was poor. I feel like this level at least evokes a little bit more of the dark atmosphere of the first game. I didn't really get that from the first two levels, but this one I think is a little bit darker, a little bit eerier, and it also has that ghost hammer haunt down in the jails, so that's cool.
I heard something.
What does that say? Waiting room. Ah, yes, yes. Well, those are the stairs that I saw earlier. Stream chats always seem to be fairly quiet around this time of night. I mean, I don't usually stream at this time, so yeah. I expected that for me anyway. Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, it's a good game to play late at night. Journal entry 836. We are still unable to make a case against Madame Valeri. Her brothel seems to be perfectly legitimate, but Lieutenant Mosley believes that there is more going on there, and so do I. The likely possibility is that they're using pillow talk to extract information from their rather aristocratic clientele. I can't believe I'm saying this in a journal, but that the sheriff is somehow involved in this. I've seen Truett enter there more than one occasion, but is he a client or is he somehow working with them? All I know is that I'm not going to say a word about this to anyone, especially Lieutenant Hagen. Mosley is the only one of us we can trust. Or any of us can trust, yeah. Legitimate brothel, yes. I like the light switches. Ding! Innovation. I like the light switches more than the people. I mean, yeah. Oh, it came back on? Madness. What sort of next gen technology is this? Journal entry 709. Work's been pretty slow these days. Between Mosley and Warden affairs, every thief in the city is out of business. I can't believe we used to try and stop crime by arresting the thieves. By attacking the bookkeepers and fences, crooks have nowhere to turn to. Besides, who's more anxious about staying out of jail? Criminal or some whiny pencil pusher? Sometimes I'm finding it a little harder to pinpoint where the sounds are coming from in this one compared to the first one, but maybe that's just me being rubbish, I don't know. I might take out one of these guards, I might. Take it. I cannot lockpick that.
What was that?
Nothing. Journal entry 1022. I still can't figure out who the hell is robbing the third floor evidence vault. I mean, if it ain't us, then who the hell is it? All I know is that it's attracting a lot of unnecessary attention. I've told the rest of the crew to take the long way to the third floor. Hagen is already suspicious of us as it is. Even though the sheriff will keep him off our backs, I still don't want to get on Hagen's bad side. That idiot really thinks that Truart is some kind of hero. Ha! If he only knew what we knew. I quite liked my hat there. I thought that was a good read. Don't know how you guys feel about it. Thank you, friend. Oh. Oh, we can get in here. Journal entry 684. Mosley is becoming an inconvenience. Lately she has been questioning my orders, and her conduct regarding the pagans borders on insubordination. She was always my best officer before. Why the sudden change? I'm going to give her one more chance to redeem herself. If she fails me again, I'll have to give the case to Hagen. He may not be as good as an officer, but he is loyal and vicious, and not the sort to have any moral dilemmas with this kind of assignment. What really puzzles me is that she wants the case so badly. The last time I discussed it with her, I suggested she hand the case over to someone else. She assured me that she had tripled her efforts rather than let go of the assignment. I always check in fireplaces in these games. Oh, there you go.
Not so secret anymore, is it?
It pays off, doesn't it? Every time. Number 1 thief tip: check the fireplaces. Schedule. Stick out lunch. Meet with LK. The appointment of Madame's Valeri's. Is that the whore? The legitimate brothel service? So what is this all about? Dancing lessons, yeah. Oh, that's Okay. Yeah, we're actually just as bad as Greg Wallace, aren't we? We're so easily impressed. I don't think it's good that I knocked out that guard. Because I don't think that was a necessary one, really.
Didn't sound like rats this
time. I don't
Let's
know.
see what I can use against our Lieutenant Hagen.
The only reason why it's an issue in this mission is because they give you that as an objective. You're not allowed to knock out or kill more than 2 guards, so I've knocked out 1. So I've got 1 more. Journal entry 459. So often I hear the whispers of the men. What is the sheriff really planning? Why is he so intent on bringing down the pagans? Maybe the sheriff isn't the man I thought he was. The members of City Watch are filled with doubt. It is my responsibility to see to it that they ignore their doubts. Sheriff Gorman Truitt is unlike any man I've ever worked for. He has ushered in a new age, and it is up to us to support him, unquestionably. Or unquestioningly. If Sheriff Truitt asked me to arrest my own family, I would do so without any hesitation. Why can't Mosley see this? She always questioned everything. Why can't she just follow Truitt's orders? We are not supposed to think, we are supposed to follow. Unquestioning nailing, yes. Would be a great touch if that was the mechanic, since I imagine a lot of guards and posh people would take note of that. Yeah, but I don't know. I guess it fits in with these guards, because most of the thief guards are pretty stupid, aren't they? Let's be honest. They're not the brightest bulbs in the box. I think they're just very content on their little corridor, and they'll just look after their little corridor forever. I can't believe I played and finished this level when I was a kid on a computer if I could barely run the game. Kind of blows my mind. Oh, the secure records key. That's good. Lieutenant, I instructed the mechanist, Brother Artus, to leave you a new key. The key will open the vault as well as the secure records room in the records hall. From Gorman, Big Gorman. And then journal entry 2234. It's getting harder to protect my garden from harm. So many plants die. No matter how hard I try to protect them, they still fall victim to the elements. No matter what anyone tells me, I will not uproot them or cut them down. I don't know what we're doing here anymore. Half of the people I gave orders to are people I arrested before. Hopefully the war will be over soon and the Baron will return. I don't think I can take much more of Truitt's new age, as Hagen so often puts it. Any 8-Ball and MJG fans in the audience tonight? They have a song called Space Age Pimpin', and the hook is New Age, New Age. Absolute banger. Ooh, a letter. Lieutenant Mosley, I put you in charge of handling the pagans because you're my second in command. Until now, your records have been exemplary. I don't understand why your performance has faltered. If you do not want this case to be reassigned to Lieutenant Hagen, I suggest you double your efforts to rid the city of all pagan influence. Also, it has been brought to my attention that numerous small thefts from the evidence vault have been occurring for some time now. Fire the officer that guards the vault. The sentries can handle the security by themselves. I want you to conduct an investigation immediately. Be so it orders Sheriff Gorman Truitt. Hello, Real Tech 9. I think you're saying that just to make me happy. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. It's a good game, this, isn't it? Just looking.
Show yourself.
See what I mean? This game is generous. Very generous.
Thought I saw something. You can either come.
Yeah. Okay. Their hats are too tight. Okay, so I should get to the record place, I guess, now. Yeah, I'm doing good, thanks. I can't complain.
Look, over there.
Oh well. Turn around very slowly.
Nah. Nah. Getting impatient now. Is there no other way down? I don't think so. I mean, there is this way. I mean, I guess that works, yeah.
Who's there?
What do I see there? You're under arrest!
Howdy, partner. Ooh.
Who's there? Speak up. I'd better cut back on all this overtime.
Did I go the other way? Yeah, I guess so. See, these doors don't work anymore. It's a real bummer. They don't make doors like they used to. Sweet. This is exactly where I want to be as well. I still don't understand why it makes the tile sound effect on these wooden parts here, but sure. Physics. Indeed, yeah. Why am I making such a mess of this? I mean, maybe they don't really want you to do it like this, but... And it's possible, right? There is a part of me that thinks, like, the mantling has been sort of nerfed a little bit in this one to stop you from climbing up on stuff that they don't want you to climb up on. Like I'm holding space, you know, to do the climb, but it's just not working. And then it does work, yay! It's just, I don't know, it's quite fussy in that instance. Maintenance. Vault security can be disabled for minor repairs. Simply enter the proper code and the sentries will shut off. The maintenance code is 4026.
I should write that down.
I've typed it in Twitch chat. Name Lady Van Vernon. Activity frequent adultery. Brett. Her husband is very jealous and easily outsmarted. If her husband discovers her infidelity, she stands to lose her comfortable lifestyle. Should Lord Van Vernon throw her out into the streets of Dayport? Use. Lord Van Vernon owns a large number of factories. Our Lady could help us out, cut a deal with him for weapons and armor for City Watch. Lord Manny Ramstein. Activity embezzling money from his business partner overseas. Threat. His business partner has two of the city's top cleaners on retainer. Use. Ramstein is a very popular importer. By keeping him under control, we can use him to get to larger criminal activity. So, yeah. So the main place that we haven't been to is this evidence storage area. And you get to there from the second floor on the other side, which is where we were earlier, which is really annoying actually. Oh well. I hope your German Shepherd enjoys that sign. Furious if you're still there. Are they startled because I made so much of a racket trying to climb up here? This is a library. Yep, just hitting things every once in a while yields good results apparently. Barking at the mailman. Well, as long as they're barking at the mailman and not me, I'm happy. Oh dear. They seem to be quite excited. Works in my favor though, I suppose.
Hey, did you notice that?
Be taffing around down here.
Oh, looks like it's peaceful again.
The mail cart things they drive piss dogs off so much. The noise they make out of frequency that makes them go ballistic. Oh, right, okay.
Thought I saw something.
Gotcha.
Seems peaceful enough now.
Now we're back here. My favorite spot.
Come out and face me, villain.
Yeah, that's not bothered. Should we use an invisible potion for the first time ever? Just get it. Just to use it. I've got 3 of them, for goodness sake. There you go. Security cameras.
Pottery figures. Never going to impress the ladies this way. Who's over there? Okay, what's going on here?
See, it sees me, but I don't think it can really do anything because I turn the alarms off.
You coward! You've messed with the wrong man, thief!
No, I guess I'm wrong. Okay. So what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
That didn't sound like rats.
I don't know, rats are pretty watery. I don't think that does anything. Worth a try. It's not a great.
Let's see what that was.
Not a great situation, is it?
Oh well. Back to work. Jordan, that you?
That will help a little bit. Actually, it should help a lot. That guy is pretty okay with the light just suddenly going out for no reason.
I'd better do this quick.
Yeah, they're pretty okay with that too. Oh, we've hit the jackpot here, haven't we? I need to drop the thing in, don't I? Okay. I'm trying to close the thing. There we go. That's that dealt with. They even leave you notes on like how where you can get a key from and all that kind of stuff. Definitely a much more, I don't know, they're definitely helping you along a bit more in this one, I feel. While in the first one they were just like, here's this massive level. We want you to find this one thing, but we're not going to give you any clues. Nah, they usually will give you some sort of inkling. Usually.
Someone say something.
Okay, nothing. I'm definitely looking forward to playing a mission where I can just hit everyone again. Gonna be fun. Where is this guy? Oh, fantastic, Fred. I can't wait for that to get an official release. Expectations are high for that, so hopefully I won't be let down. Oh, bum.
Sheriff Gorman Troy.
Doors that you can see through and they can see through? Madness. So where do I need to drop the strongbox? In Lieutenant Hagen's office. That's not too far. I just want to explore the rest of this floor first, but I do not know if it's worth it.
We got problems here.
What? 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 What's this man made out of?
This way.
And he's dead now. What? I'm confused by that. Metal guard, yeah. I'm sure it'll be great, Fred. I think you'll get at least 4,559 views on YouTube on the first day, and then over the course of the next 2 years it will rise to about 5,400,000 plus views. It's somewhere in that region, I would say. And you will make precisely 0.000 pounds. Is that an accurate reading? That's the plan. These rooms are useless. Oh, there's something here though.
Ah, a back door.
That is actually quite good. That's the one person that I've knocked out.
I want to know who came up with the stupid idea of no drinking on duty. About the only thing that makes a cold watch go faster is a nice bottle.
Time to go. Go.
Yep.
Not again.
So where are we going from here?
I'm gonna cut back on all this overtime.
Can I leave through here? It looks like it. Very good. And I did just one knockout. I could have done one more, but didn't need to. 7 out of 9 secrets is pretty good for a first time. Iron Beasts destroyed. Got most of the loot, so.
Seems like the consequences of my occupation have finally caught up with me. I went to the Crippled Burrick pub to meet Sammy about unloading some merchandise. The smell of ale and smoke from the place wasn't enough to cover up the stench of an ambush. A couple of watch officers were there waiting for me. Judging by the look on Sammy's face, I'd say he sold me out.
What?
They didn't seem interested in bringing me in either. The Bluecoats were looking for swift justice. Fortunately, I always have an ace up my sleeve. I better get back to my place fast and try to figure out what to do next. I just have to get past these guys and the rest of the city's finest out on patrol.
Yeah, it was a creepy smile, wasn't it? Escape the ambush and return to your home in the northwest. So it's the same on normal and hard, but on expert you can't kill anyone.
Better get moving before they see me.
What's going on? The city watch are all over the place.
Oh, they're looking for some guy the sheriff once brought in.
Goodness me, is this man dangerous?
They say they want him dead or alive. but it looks to me like they'd prefer dead.
And how do you know that?
I was at the pub. Saw a couple of bluecoats ambush the guy there. He managed to get away, though. Never seen anyone move that fast before. He just vanished into the shadows.
My.
Never should have gotten out a noble guard.
Shrubbery?
Maybe, but by God, there were servants to take care of things.
Thought I saw
Oh.
something.
You didn't see anything.
Always nothing. It's never anything.
What is it? I don't have any money. Help! Help!
Are you
There's
sure?
someone in here!
In the name of
In the name of Sheriff Owen Crew!
This guy's made out of metal as well.
See him!
Alright. What's the map looking like? Good. Well, we're gonna be here for the next 5 hours. Are you looking forward to that? Is that all we've got? No.
What's going on? The city watch are all over the place.
Oh, they're looking for some guy the sheriff once brought in.
Goodness me, is this man dangerous?
They say they want him dead or alive, but it looks to me like they'd prefer dead.
And how do you know that?
I was at the pub. Saw a couple of bluecoats ambush the guy there. He managed to get away, though. Never seen anyone move that fast before. He just vanished into the shadows.
My.
A little bit stuck there? Okay. Oh yeah. This is a good game. Just in case anyone was confused and wasn't sure if it was or not.
Did you see something over?
Damn.
What's the latest on the war, Raleigh?
Lord Anders hasn't received
Full damage is quite generous, isn't it?
The last he heard, it was not going well. I fear the Baron may return with the battlefield coming right up behind him.
I think you worry too much. This city is like a fortress. With the mechanists here to help us defend the city,
So where are we going? Oh, we're still in pub land
we
apparently.
needn't fret about it.
I think you put too much faith in the mechanists. After all, they are only a splinter group of the Hammerites, hardly a military force. They seem concerned only with aiding nobles with their fancy inventions. Their tin soldiers wouldn't last long against a real army.
Well, until I see a battle going on outside my window, I shan't worry about it.
Who's making...
Yeah. To be fair, I think most people who stop by this stream aren't like that. And I think the people that I'm pretty good friends with aren't like that either. But yeah, I don't understand those people either. my lord. I write to thank you for your most interesting entertainment of the other night. The sheriff's men are, as you said, most efficient, and watching the rabble fall over themselves in panic afforded me more entertainment than a good month of theatre. Might we avail ourselves of this street cleaning farce again this weekend? I await your reply. Your devoted L. Good, yeah, it's a good, it's a good clip, that. It's classic. It's nearly a year old, that clip now. Can you believe it? That gold was only worth 5. And that was only worth 25. Wow. Always check the fireplace. Always. Yeah, I mean that annoys me when people say that for some games that like are totally fine. Some games definitely would benefit from a remaster or a remake or whatever for sure, but there's some games that definitely don't, and I think these games definitely don't.
I better cut back on all this overtime. Who's making all that noise?
Oh come on! What is this all about? Let's just ignore that guy.
Seeing things. False alarm, I guess.
I mean, I'll always appreciate a good, yeah, like a good remaster. I don't think anyone's gonna get angry about that necessarily. Like, it'd be nice, like, you know, to play this on modern systems, you really need to install like T-Fix or T-Fix Lite or whatever.
What was that?
It'd be nice to have a remaster if it just has that in it already. I think the GOG version actually has that in it already. But yeah, like something official. Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm always happy when like an old game gets re-released, even if it's not a very good game. I'm just happy that, you know, you can get it again. We recently streamed Total Overdose. It's not a very good game, but at least you can get it easily and legally and cheaply. I appreciate that it's there.
Yes? Thought I saw something.
This guy seems confused. Tunnel vision alert.
Drop your
Okay, whatever.
Who's there? Hello?
Seems quiet enough now. Oh well.
Yeah, that would be great, Zakos. Yeah, it'll probably never happen, but I would love to see like Saturn stuff get ported or for sure. I think we're good on Skyrim and GTA 5 re-releases for the next 50 years, yeah. I mean, I guess I'm a hypocrite in that regard, because anytime Doom gets a re-release, I always buy it again. Panzer Dragoon VR. That's actually, yeah, that's a pretty good idea. I had the demo for that. Wasn't the thing, you guys might correct me on this, but wasn't the thing, so Panzer Dragoon Zwei, or Zoe, or however it's pronounced, came out in the Saturn. It was like, what, 3 or 4 discs, right? And the official Sega Saturn magazine had a thing where they actually gave away the first disc with their magazine. Wasn't that right? Pity, that's mad, isn't it? Yeah, you were barely alive when that happened. Well, I mean, I was very young too, but I heard about it, read about it in retrospect. But I had that disc, that's why I'm mentioning it. I did have that. Or, I don't know if I had that disc, I definitely had a demo of it, for sure. I'm not really enjoying this level, by the way. Just thought I would throw that out there. Maybe it was Saga. No, yeah, maybe it was Saga that they gave the first disc away on. Maybe that's what it was. I think I had the demo for Sway or Sway. The super expensive one, yeah. I would imagine the cheapest Saturn game is probably like some sports game that no one cares about. I would imagine Daytona USA is probably pretty cheap on the Saturn, because that was like everywhere, wasn't it? We had it. Several members of the City Watch are waiting for you in your apartment. You need to find shelter elsewhere, and there's no better place than Shielbridge. The only snag is that you need to sneak into your home and get the gate key that you kept hidden in your secret compartment in your bedroom closet. After you get the gate key, proceed to Shielbridge. If the case is in good condition. I do have a few Saturn games, not here, but elsewhere. I can't speak to how good condition they are then, though. I'm not sure. We did have a football game on the Saturn. It was like Olympia 96 or some crap. It was by US Gold. The technique to do well in that was to shoot from the penalty box on the corners. You scored every time. That was the big strat. Once you figure that out, that was it. You mastered the game at that point. Nice door texture. That's really strange. See, on stream, it's flickering on OBS window, but on the game capture it's not. That's really strange. Never seen that before.
Something there?
What's over there?
That is bizarre, yeah. I mean, I'm seeing it flickering now. Yeah, it's happening on both now, but yeah, just that specific instance a moment ago.
See that
What was
too?
that?
You?
No problem, Fred. Disc rot from high temperatures and exposure. Yeah. One of the things that kind of puts me off collecting things. I don't really do it anymore, but I used to. Yeah, I never really collected games that much. I have quite a lot of Xbox 360 games. That's probably my biggest collection. But I don't do it anymore. Actually, I gave away loads of PC games a couple of years ago.
One way or another, I'll find you.
Okay.
Looks like I'm gonna need a new address. But I'm gonna have to get to my stash first.
Done for them, be recognized.
Let's see some identification.
Someone there.
Can't hide forever.
Here, chicky.
Come out and
Anything in the fireplace? Ooh.
Good. Now time to relocate.
I think my 360 might be starting to struggle with discs. It seems to be... It doesn't not work, but it seems to be picky with what discs it wants to read and which ones it doesn't. So that's a bit annoying.
Come back here, chicky.
I do have a spare one, but it's super loud.
Come out.
Come back
and
here,
face
damn it.
me, villain. Look there!
come
Fight
out
me,
and fight
you
me.
coward.
Oh, ready to die? Ooh, was that a love tap?
Get help, somebody!
My baby
I
brother
put an
does
officer
better
down.
than that. Someone'll swing for this.
Perfect. Yeah, I have a 360 that sounds like a jet engine. And it was so bad that it was actually... It was so bad that I actually bought another one. I was just like, I've had enough of this, I have to get another one. It was awful. There doesn't seem to be anything worth it here, really.
Fight me,
I
you
think you can hide
coward.
from me.
I'll find you.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was an absolute disaster for Microsoft. The amount of money that they must have spent on that, like, repair program, and just the amount of faulty machines, is just ridiculous, really. I think if it wasn't for that, they would have not necessarily. Well, I think for the first few years, they definitely did do way better from the PS3. I know the PS3 in the end ended up overtaking it, but yeah, I think the hardware failures were such a shame because everything else about that console was great. That and the D-pad, I guess. The D-pad sucked. Yeah, PS2 was very shaky as well. I definitely had some PS2 failures as well. I'm not sure if the PS2 I have now still works. I haven't used it in like 8 years. Yeah, the PlayStation controllers have always had good D-pads, I think. The thing that gets me about the 360 one is that I actually thought the D-pad on the original Xbox controller, you know, the S controller, not the Duke controller, but the revision that came out later. I think that D-pad was pretty good, but for some reason they just completely balls it up with the 360 one. Yeah, I never got a Vita. A part of me wishes I did get one, but nah, I guess I can live without it. I did have a PSP though. Yeah, the original Xbox was amazing. Hardware wise, it was just, I don't know, it was like in a league of its own compared to the PS2 and the GameCube. It's not too late when there's a huge selection of games for it now. You would have to get it second hand though, probably, right? Where am I going? I don't know. See, there's all these other areas like the graveyard and all this kind of stuff. It's like, does it matter? Yeah, the GameCube was cool. I've never owned a Nintendo home console though, ever. I know recently, I think it's getting a little bit better, the Xbox emulation stuff. I know you can actually play Jet Set Radio Future on it, for example. I was looking at the list recently, just out of curiosity, and yeah, I mean, it's a pretty small list of games that works at the moment. But yeah, hopefully it gets there someday. I don't know, I think the one I was looking at was called something else. You got a retro tank? Nice. Saturn isn't quite there either. Yeah, I know, I know that was a hard one to crack for a long time and it's still not quite there. Nice goblet. Just checking there's nothing else here.
Not again.
Did you hear about the raid?
I feel like a difference between this one and the first one is that, like, when you have the door closed like this, in the second one you can't really hear them too well. In the first one I think you could hear them pretty well.
Oh, well, I guess we'll just have to arrest the sheriff at that point.
Yeah, the Baron will be surprised to find out that Trude is working for everyone but him.
Does anyone know who the people the sheriff is working for are? I'm surprised that no one really talks about it.
You won't be talking about it neither if you know what's good for you.
Can you remind me, Infernal Monsoon, what your preference is over Thief 1 or Thief 2? I can't remember if I asked you that or not. Oh, I was just asking which one you like better, Thief 1 or Thief 2. I can't remember if I asked you that or before. I was just wondering. I think everyone I've asked so far seems to like Thief 2 more. And I know I'm still early doors, but like, I don't know. I don't think this holds a candle to the first one so far, to be honest. I quite like the last mission, it was pretty good, but I don't know. Welcome back, Fred.
Thought I saw.
Take that!
Yeah, I'll have to check out that video too. Half-Life 1 crowbarred me. This is gonna be stupid, but I just want to do it for fun.
Hey!
Oh. Didn't quite do the jump I wanted to do. No, not really worth it. It's cool though. It's a nice idea, but no. I can't say I'm cool enough to know what Blade of Darkness is. I'm sorry to break the illusion. What is it?
Sir, was that you?
I need to get some sleep.
Well done, Fred. You worked hard for that, of course you did. It took you, you know, over 1,000 hours to achieve that. Well, that was a pointless jump. It looked cool, but there's no point to doing that. Let's go in here, though. Is that worth it? I don't know. Hello, Neon Shoe Maiden. Hope you're doing well. I don't know, Fred. It's just magic. I don't have any good explanation for that. Maybe it's because... Maybe it doesn't always log my... Yeah, because...
Just one move,
Don't
Capper,
think you'll...
and you're mine.
Did you hear about the raid at the Overlord's fancy? Troy led the bust himself.
Donald must be pretty pissed.
You can say that.
If Truard keeps up this pace, we'll all be out of a job. There won't be anyone left to arrest.
Oh, well, I guess we'll just have to arrest the sheriff at that point.
Yeah, the Baron will be
right,
surprised to
where
find
are
out
you?
that Truard is working for everyone but him.
Does anyone know who the people the sheriff is working for are? I'm surprised that no one really talks about it.
You won't be talking about it neither if you know what's good for you.
Where does this lead to? In the marketplace.
What's a big fella like you doing out here at...
I would like to listen to their epic conversation.
Keep you warm?
What for? This uniform is plenty warm enough, and it's not even cold out tonight.
I thought that was a ladder. No? Nah, it's not. Oh, it's good, yeah. And I'm glad they reused the same voices over and over again. One of those things you couldn't get away with that now, but back then, you could.
Show yourself!
I don't get that.
We'll find you soon enough.
They freak out over the sound of water. I mean, I get that it's like splashing and stuff, but... I was chatting with an utterly useless customer support recently about stuff and things and was asked for several identifying details ending with, I have your date of birth. And I asked my date of birth or what and got no reply. Some people are just hopeless. Indeed. Hot take, the Elder Scrolls games were so much better off with a smaller amount of voice actors compared to the constant barrage of generic American blokes who graduated from the University of Gravel Eating. I mean, yeah, I can appreciate that argument. I don't really play the Elder Scrolls games, so I don't have a personal take on that, but... Oh, I didn't know there was a ladder here. That would have been good to know earlier. Huh. Nah, whatever. But, yeah, no, my experience with that series is really low. I only played Skyrim, and I played it for like 15 hours, and I was like, this is awful. This is so dull. I would literally rather do work. I never played it again. No, it's a bit of an exaggeration, but it's so the problem is, see, with a game like that, if it feels like you've seen everything that the game has to offer already, then that's not good. And that's all ultimately how I felt about it. It all looked the same. You're doing the same stuff. Yeah, I should probably just play the old one someday. Yeah, that's the problem. Like, the gameplay just isn't that good. I'm not saying it's like horrible or anything, because it's not, but it's just
I
not.
thought I saw something.
It's not great. The only thing I liked about it was that at the time, anyway, you know, 10 years ago, it did look very nice. And I'll give it credit for that. I'm sure it doesn't look that nice anymore, but at the time it looked pretty good. And it ran well as well, it was pretty well optimized. I played it on the PC. Dark Messiah Might and Magic. Now that's you're speaking my language now. Now that's a game. Now that's a game. Skyrim can go to hell. That is a video game. Kicking people off things, kicking people into spikes. Now that's a video game. Yeah, that's a on the Source engine as well. I bought that recently, you know, because so funny story of that. I originally played that on the 360, and as you guys probably know or don't know, the 360 version of that is like a dumbed down baby version. You don't even have like proper like character development in it. It's like really dumbed down. It's basically Dark Messiah but for babies. But I still enjoyed it anyway. And then I bought the PC version actually pretty recently, with the intentions of doing a playthrough of it. So yeah, we'll do that someday. But I even though the 360 version's bad, I still enjoyed it. I still was able to see through the guff. Might and Magic. There's loads of Might and Magic games. Like there's yeah, there's the 3DO ones like Warriors of Might and Magic and Shifters. Any Shifters fans in the audience tonight? No. There's no Shifters fans on the planet. It has one game breaking buff. It breaks your save if you miss a gem in the catacombs area. Yeah, the Heroes of Might and Magic series is really popular. PC. I think Ubisoft bought the rights to that, right? And they continued it on after 3DO closed up. But yeah, Dark Messiah Might and Magic was cool. It was Arcane who made that, right? They did and promptly killed it, of course. Of course, that's what you do when you buy rights to something. Sure, EA and Activisions are like the gods of that. Definitely give EA the crown though. Look at what they did to Origin and fucking Westwood and whatever. I don't know, like Maxis and everyone, like everything EA touches, it's like poison. It's just like dies. Bullfrog Productions, dead. Aye, that's what I call AAA. Do you guys like this mission? Like, serious question. I'm not feeling it either. I think this mission's boring as hell. And there's no atmosphere. Like, that's the thing that I love about the first one is the atmosphere. Like, I mean, it's got a little bit of, like... You know, it's got a little bit, but it's not... I don't know, the atmosphere in the first one, you can cut it with a knife, it's so thick. This is like the Diet Coke version of that. It's not good. This reminds me of the Thief reboot, actually, constantly having to run across that hub city over and over again. I'm sure I'm making everyone tear their hair out, but yeah. I've never had RC Cola before in my life. Remote control cola. Radio control.
A sewer never looked so appealing.
That's a box quote. A sewer has never looked so appealing. It's in some shops in England, but it's a rare sight. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it. I've definitely heard of it. We're getting there, I think. We're going in the right direction. Where's my compass at? It's actually one of the few instances where I would do want to use it. Yeah, I'm sure somewhere has it. Yeah. Is this guy gonna see me? You could have attributed it to Garrett. That's what I would have done. You're rubbish though. That's not true.
Hey.
I mean, that's fun. Oh yeah, no, don't worry about that. I do stuff like that too. And I think I'm the only person who gets annoyed by it.
Maybe it was rats.
Most other people probably don't notice. I can fix it later, don't worry about it. I have opened the door. I do have moss, right? That would be a very different game at that point.
Over there. I saw something. No, well, guess it was nothing.
It's fine.
What was that? Just rats again.
Is this your next video game pitch? I like it. I haven't played Cruelty Squad yet. It might be different because it's not a regular quote. Because it's in its own category. I don't know why that would be different, but...
Just rats again. What's that I see? Oh, quiet now. I'm sure it was nothing.
Speech recognition system. If only. Bobby. Edit box quote 11. By your command, Fred. Oh, no problem, Inferno. Thanks very much for the raid. That level was rubbish, by the way. One of the worst Thief levels so far. I'll probably stop here myself. But yeah, thanks Inferno for hanging out, and thanks for the raid and everything. Yeah, I'll probably stop here anyway. I've been going for over 3 hours. I've been going a bit longer typically recently, but this has been a surprise late night stream. We're coming up on 10 to 1 in the morning over here, so we'll watch the next cutscene now.
By order of the Council of the Keepers, you must come with us. Garrett, be reasonable. Logic dictates... Leave. But we must... Now.
Has your wealth of knowledge grown so vast that you've lost all hunger for more? Is there no more trust between us then?
Let's make this fast.
My hand is copper, my brow is lead. Suffer me in a red patina swept along in a molten flow to a sad eternity. My stride interrupted, my thoughts untimed. My tears are become drops of silver that shatter the crystalline fern. I plead the wind to sweep us away.
Nice poem. Not poetry, prophecy. The Middle Age is upon us.
I picked the gilded apple from the iron tree. I wipe the rust from my brow.
Iron trees? Not in my part of town. Find the humor if you must. But can you tell me truly, Garrett, are there any trees in your part of town? I will answer for you. There are not.
Destiny and danger are still focused on the one, the renegade who is both brethren and betrayer.
Well, you got the danger part right anyway. Tell you what, you keepers can plant a few shrubs about town and
shrubbery?
I'll take care of me. I'll find my own way home.
You're a fool! Do you not understand what is at stake?
Did you not hear the interpreter's words?
Yes, Keeper Orland, he has heard. Do not despair. Let me go after him, alone. Not to persuade, but to leave the door open between us. One more moment, if you will, Garrett.
One moment.
You have trouble, my friend. Danger from someone who hired Truart to kill you.
Yes?
Then take this. The sooner you are done with your business, the sooner you will help us.
Don't count on it.
My heart it ceases, my breath undrawn, my eyes forever focused
on the sanguine metal dawn.
I headed back to my safe house and kept thinking about the letter. I know they're trying to manipulate me, but keepers never alter the truth. Just keep it in the shadows. Besides, it's not like I got a lot of leads anyway.
If you seek the private knowledge of the sheriff, go to the Eastport Mechanist Seminary tomorrow night. With stealthy discretion, overhear what you may at a certain very timely meeting.
Looks like I have something useful to learn from a seminary for a change. There are 2 open towers and some back doors which might be helpful for getting in. The catacombs below the church could be another way in, but I'd rather not tread where the dead sleep. The meeting will most likely take place in some sort of conference hall. There's no guarantee that I'll even be able to get inside, but all I need to do is get close enough to listen at the door. I better pull this off quickly and find a new hideout before the bulldogs get my scent. This situation does have one advantage. Things can't get any worse. Who could hire someone like the sheriff to kill me?
The keeper's tips are your best lead, so you better be at the door to overhear the sheriff's conversation. It should start when the church bells foretold midnight. You'll need to stay close to the door to ensure you hear every word. The Mechanist Seminary was once a Hammerite cathedral, so there's bound to be plenty of trinkets lying around. Steal at least 1,000 in loot. Killing is the mark of an amateur. Don't kill any innocent bystanders. Once you're done, get back out by heading to the front gate. I don't have much cash going into this level. I think this is the level I got up to when I played it when I was a kid. Because I do remember this level. Well, some of it anyway.
I tell thee, for thou art my friend, that I wish the children of
Look,
Caris were more
robots.
mild seeming.
Thou'rt not the first to be afeard of them, though their visage is wrought to strike terror into the enemies of Caras, or those who might consider becoming enemies.
Well, and it might, for it near strikes terror into mine own heart. If
shall
someone be there, then
unroot you,
bespeak thyself.
villainous weed.
Do you fight me with straw?
So yeah, they've spent you know, all this money and resources making robots, but if you just put a little bit of water into its back, it's dead. So yeah, I'll leave it there for now. Yeah, I'm definitely not liking this as much as the first one so far, but I think, to be fair, I think it hasn't really kicked in yet. Like, I still think we're in the early game and it hasn't quite gotten there. Well, I think in comparison, I think the first one starts off strongly, like, immediately. And if anything, it dips a little bit after that. Maybe this is the opposite. Thanks for the follow, Zakas. I have my alerts turned off, but yeah, thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll probably be back at some point tomorrow. I'll probably be a bit earlier. I won't be streaming late at night. Like today, I'll be on much earlier. But yeah, really appreciate everyone who stopped by. I know it was kind of out of the blue. And I know a lot of people probably weren't expecting a stream tonight at all. But yeah, anyone who showed up, I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm gonna go away. See you guys later. Have a good night, and I'll catch you guys again soon. Bye bye.